Hey guys, okay, so this week I want to talk to you guys about the basics of beat matching. So if you watched my video last week, you'll know that the beat matching is all about getting the drum beat of two songs in line with each other so they're hitting at exactly the same time, okay? So just to explain that in a little bit more detail, most dance music, and you'll typically be doing beat matching with dance music. You wouldn't do it so much with pop music, although a lot of pop music these days is dance music, so I guess you could, but we're going off the point. Beat matching would be every song has got a drum beat. Thump, 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 the whole way through the song. Most tracks do, dance music wise. And what you want to do is you'll get another song that's got a thump to it as well. And you make sure that both the songs are exactly the same speed. That's the first thing you'll check when beat matching. And then you'll start playing the beat over each other. Okay? So the reason why you want to do them at exactly the same speed is because if one song is faster than the other, it'll begin to do this. Boom, boom, ba-boom, 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 which just sounds terrible. I'm going to give you an example of what happens if you try and mix two songs that are different speeds. So I've got one track here that's just a drum beat, and I got a track on this side that's just a drum beat. They are both exactly the same speed, 128 BPM, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and speed up the second track. So the second track is going faster. Now I'm going to press play at exactly the same time here, and you'll see what happens at how the beats just go out of line with each other. That sounds terrible, and that's with two tracks where the only thing going on is a drum beat. Now, can you imagine if there were other elements going on in the song, like hi-hats and claps and all different instruments? It would just sound like a train wreck. So the first thing you guys want to make sure you do when you're beat matching is to make sure the tracks are the same speed. And if you're a beginner, the best way to do this is to use a program, which I'm guessing most of you will be, like Serato, and it'll say on Serato the speeds here and here. And all you've got to do is use these dials here to make sure that the speeds are exactly the same. So, for example, if one track's 128 and another track's 130, you'd either speed up the 128 track to 130, or you'd slow down the 130 track to 128. That's the prime thing you want to do when you're beat matching, okay? Now, a second ago you saw me beat match. I hit play at exactly the same time. But obviously with DJing, you're never going to hit play at two songs at exactly the same time. The whole thing is you'll have one track playing and you have to bring in the second track. Okay? So without going into too much detail, I just want to kind of give you guys the basics of beat matching. This isn't an advanced lesson, this is just the absolute basics. So make sure you've got two tracks that are the same kind of speed. If you want, you can get my course at www.beginnerdjlessons.com. The link will be under this video, where I teach you all of this in a lot more detail, and I give you these beat tracks so you can do exactly what I'm doing in this video. But if you don't want to get my course, the other thing you can do is just get two tracks that are the same kind of speed to practice with. But it'll be harder because there'll be a lot more going on. So I'm just going to show you what to do, okay? So the first thing you want to do is, let me just grab my headphones. I'm going to show you what I'll do now with both volumes all the way up, okay? So you can hear what's going on. You'll have one track playing. And now you have to line this second track up with the first track. So you want to get your Q button or a hot point. So let's just set the Q button here. Set it, Q. Okay, and what you want to start doing is just tapping along to the beat, whatever the beat is. So you got the beat here. You see what I was doing? I was just tapping along to it. And as you tap, you will hear the first beat, because the cue point takes you from wherever you set the cue point will start playing. Take your finger off, put it back on. It'll play from that point that you set it. So here we go. You'll see what I'm doing is I'm starting the song and stopping it. See, I'm just playing it from the same point. The other thing you need to know is if you hold your finger down, then press play, you can take your finger off the cue button and it will continue playing. See, if I press Q now and take my finger off, it stops playing. But if I hit Q and then press play, I can take my finger off Q and off play and the track continues playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this track playing. We're going to tap along to it, and once we're convinced that the beats are matched up, you're then going to press play. Okay, so let's give this a go. So let me explain that one more time. This track here was playing a beat. I pressed the cue point on this one. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's get to that cue point again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I was convinced that I was tapping along to the beat properly, I held it down, pressed play, took my finger off, and then that was playing to the beat of this track here. Okay? So, let's go again. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's get that cue point, and let's go. Tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm convinced they're playing at the same time, and because I'm confident that they're playing at the same time, I'll now press play, and then I can take my finger off. And both the tracks are playing at exactly the same time. You can actually see them playing at the same time there as well. You can see they're lined up. So that really is the basics of it. That is the absolute basics of beat matching. That's how you'll get one track going and get another track and play it at the right time so it comes in. There's a lot more to it than this, guys. So if you are interested, do go to my course. It's beginnerdjlessons.com. There's a link under this video. I've got a course. It's an 8-part course, 8 videos that will teach you right from the beginning of DJing absolutely everything you need to know, as if you'd never even looked at one of these before. I'll teach you from that point straight through to beat matching, straight through to advanced DJing techniques, DJing all different types of genres of music. In the pack, I'll give you these drum beats here, so you'll be able to practice with that before you move on to anything more advanced like actual songs. And actually, guys, I'm just going to finish just by beat matching one song to another song, and I'm just going to do a bit of it because I think YouTube is a bit funny with plagiarizing music, so I can only play a bit of these songs, but I'm going to quickly beat match 2 songs for you, okay? So what we've got is Avicii, Levels, and Sexy and I Know It by LMFAO. Okay, so the one song's going to be Finishing. Okay, and while the other song finishes, I'm going to bring this in, okay? First thing I need to do is this song's 130, this song's 126 BPM. I'm going to bring this up to about 128, I'm going to bring this down to 128, okay? Now, when you're DJing, you typically do what I'm telling you to do with the volume switched down on the second track. And then you'd press the cue button so you could hear it, only you could hear it. And once you had them lined up, you'd bring the second track in. But I don't want to overcomplicate this, so I'm going to keep both sliders all the way up so you can hear everything that I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to do this quickly. I'm going to get this going. Okay, let me get this going to there. And I'm going to bring this track in, and once I'm convinced I've got that beat, I'm going to press play. Didn't sound great, guys, because I was just playing the 2 tracks at full volume with no mixing on top of each other. But again, this video is just about the basics of beat matching. And there's probably one thing you noticed me do in this video that I didn't explain. There's 3 ways to move a track forward. The first one is to put your finger on this scrolling bar here, and you can skim all the way through a song. That's the end of the song. This is the beginning of the song. You can see on the program the song skipping along really quickly as I do this. If your song is playing and you do this, your audience will hear you doing that. So you never want to do this while you're playing a song with the volume up. The second way to move a song is to put your finger on the wheel. Again, if you do this while you're playing it live, it's going to sound like a nightmare. The third way to do it is to put your finger at the side of the DJ deck, the CDJ thing, this thing here, and you can move it along really slowly. Now you can do this as the song is playing and no one will really hear because you're just moving it and you're nudging it forward or back. So if you were to find that your 2 tracks were off by any time at all, and I'm going to put the beat track back on now to show you this. Let's put them both to the same speed. Let's say I purposely started the tracks at slightly different times. You can hear they're going off, and I'll just get this track and nudge it. So if you ever start the 2 tracks and you're not convinced they're exactly right, you can just put your finger on this and nudge it along. Again, guys, this is all explained in more detail in my course. I just wanted to make this video really quick and really basic. Basics of beat matching. Again, there's a lot more to it, but this is the basics. If you guys want to know, come and check out my course. Thanks for watching.